What does that say? Dirked in history? Jessica? Becca's back. Welcome, Becca. Thank you. Let me invite Simone. I think you both should have gotten an invitation there. Yeah, here comes Simone. Simone. Spirit of a sloth. Heather. Welcome, Heather. Heather had a great idea. Hey, Heather, I'm going to invite you. Hang on here. He's working, so you might not be able to join. If you can't join, that's fine. You can comment maybe. But she had a great idea that if she can come on with us, she can share. And if not, maybe we'll do another live later today, tonight, something, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, so the difference between the one that was only 60 seconds long that we ended and this one is there's a setting you can put on for 18 only 18-year-olds and up can watch. Now, I don't expect us to get into things. Well, actually, I kind of do. Typically, we don't get into things that you would explicitly say, oh, that's only for adults. But occasionally a word might slip, or frankly, the subject matter. It's 3 in the afternoon Eastern time. There are kids that are home from school who could be on here. So we're just going to a little courtesy and let's face it, little insurance policy that I don't get bounced another week. So there's Heather joining us. Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Your
I just can't
camera's
turn
not
the
on.
screen on because I'm working.
I was going to say you don't. Your camera's not on. So here's what I had. Here's what I had done, and this is why I asked Heather to join us. I was asking about some kind of a promotion, a appreciation, a schmibbaway, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to get readers to follow me who are much more likely to actually care about what I write versus people who just want to enter a contest to win. And Heather had an interesting idea. And I said, why don't you come on live? I'll be on live around 3. Maybe you can join us and tell us a little bit about it. And here she is.
Oh yeah. So what I thought was maybe like we could possibly have us, the people who already follow you and already read your books, grab friends who we know would actually want to read your books, invite them on over, have them follow you and comment who brought them, and then whoever that friend is that brought them gets that point into being entered to win the stuff because you want people, like you said, that actually read your stuff and purchase your stuff. So why not it be the people who are working to help you get more people?
I thought the genesis of that idea was brilliant. And that ultimately that's what we're trying to do anyway. It's like if you like my stuff, you read it on Amazon, what does the Amazon do? It says, hey, that guy you just read, he's got another book. Maybe you'd like to read that one. You read book 2 in that series. Would you maybe want to read book 3 in that series? So using that same idea, I'm like, go to the people who like my stuff, make the post that I do whenever I do it, make that friends only, and then say, you're only seeing this because you're a friend of mine. You like my stuff. I want you to find another friend of yours that maybe doesn't follow me and then bring them here. That person comments, the friend comments and says, Heather brought me here. I'm interested in checking out this stuff. Maybe they follow whatever the criteria is going to be. And then we'll have 2 pools of potential beneficiaries of reader appreciation, which would be the initial friends who brought somebody to the party. They would be, well, I'll let you explain it, but after we get the 2 pools, we have the new people who followed that were referred by the friends and the original friends who brought somebody who ended up following. So let's call them the original followers, the original friends or whatever, and then the new friends. And then
Yeah.
which one, Heather, which one should be in contention for the bigger prize? Because I
I
got
think
prizes I can give to anybody.
I think the bigger prize should be towards the friends because you know they already like your stuff and they're not just here for a giveaway. They're
I,
here because they like you as an author, as a person. They've gotten to know you, spent time getting to know you.
I
It
agree.
just makes more sense.
So let me, for anybody who didn't see, let me show you oh, I got an apricot on my head. Who did that? Amberlina. All right. So let me show you the potential thing I'm talking about. If I can find a place for my keyboard that's not going to disrupt everything. All right. So I was watching Heather. I'm sorry, Hannah, not Heather. Well, I was watching Heather too. And she had this thing. This is a sprocket. So she gets her little writing journal, and somehow or other she gets the image of the book cover in there, and it prints out this little sticker. Then she sticks that on the page of the journal. Then she writes her stuff. It's got little stars or whatever she does.
Yeah.
about the book, that what she thought, what her reviews would be, that kind of thing. So I loved it. So I said, okay, I got to get a sprocket. I said, what is that thing? She goes, it's a sprocket. I said, okay, let me get a sprocket. Then when I was buying the sprocket, so the sprocket is the little printer thingy. I have no idea how this works. You push a button and a magic, beautiful sticker of a book cover comes out. That's what I know. Okay. All right. So this is pink. And then when I'm on Amazon, they suggest, well, for your new sprocket, you need a case to carry around your sprocket. I'm like, maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I'm getting the case because why would you not, right? So 15 bucks. I think the sprocket was like 100 bucks. Might have been 10 bucks more, 10 bucks less, but just let's say in that range. All right. You got the sprocket, you got the case. Okay. So far, so good. Now, but remember what I said. It all went in a writing journal. Now, I haven't actually opened this writing journal, but if you looked at Hannah's thing, you open the page and you put a sticker and then you write a couple stars, what you liked, what you didn't like, whatever it's going to be, right? I think maybe she does more than one per page. I don't really know. So I said, okay, what's the deal with the book? She's like, oh, it's such and such book. I'm like, got to get one of those. So I get this one. See, it's got the little moon and stars on there, kind of a crescent looking thing. So this is kind of a dark teal, maybe a blue color. This obviously, as I said, is purple. And this is pink. Now, why pink? Because the other one was ugly. So I went with pink. And to be honest with you, it's a pretty good color pink. And you can't really tell. But it's not Pepto-Bismol pink. It's not a beautiful shade like Simone is wearing. It's kind of a toned down. It's got a little bit of specklies. See that? At least that's what's on the cover.
I suppose it probably connects with your phone or something.
No idea. I don't want to get into the technology aspect of it. Don't care. I watched a magic device spit out a sticker that looked exactly like the book cover. That's all anybody needs to know. For more details on that, go do an internet search, do a YouTube search. How does the what's it called? How does the sprocket work? And somebody over there who knows more about it can tell you. All I saw was magic happening, wizardry happening. I had to have it, so I bought it. So I think this would be this grand package here of, to be honest, I don't remember the let's just say the sprocket was 100 bucks. Again, might have been 10 bucks more, might have been 10 bucks less. I really should know. The case was like 15, and the notebook, I think, might have been 30 or 40 bucks. Again, give or take 10 bucks. So let's just say 100, 115 and 30, let's call it 150 bucks. Maybe it's only 130, maybe it's 160. Let's just say 150, 140, somewhere there. It's a pretty good price, okay? But I'm thinking to myself, I said, if I could get 150 quality new followers, that would easily be worth $1 per follower. And I'm not buying followers. I'm just saying I'm going to reward somebody. Now, Heather, would you say that, let's just suppose Simone goes over and finds 5 people who would really be good, that she thinks would like to be over here following my stuff, and they sign up. Does she get entered 5 times, or is it just like, let's just one is good enough, just find me one? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that would be totally up to you, but if it was me doing it, I would probably say, okay, you bring this quality person who's not just here for a giveaway, like they want to read your books, then each person would be an entry.
Well, I don't have any problem with each person being an entry, but at some point, maybe somebody goes, well, this person, my first person was really good. My second person was maybe half as good, but I'm going to find 3 more because I really want to win that sprocket. And then I'm getting back to garbage. Whereas if I just said, if you could find one, that would be great. I might end up with like 5 people, and now I'm giving 150 bucks away for 5 people, which also not so hot. So
Right.
maybe we got to have a minimum of 100 get met or something. And they'll be easy to track because if Simone brings in her friend Francie, Francie's the one who comments and says, Simone brought me. And there, right there is the reconciliation. I know both were involved because Francie wouldn't have been here if it wasn't from Simone. And then I know to enter each one in their respective buckets for the drawings. Now, the followers who come, what I'm thinking, again, you two, tell me if this is crazy. It could be crazy, but let's just see. I'm thinking I'll throw them a book. I'll let them go, a digital copy, right? Just for joining and following. Like, here's a free sample. Pick a book, or maybe suggest 1 or 2 or 3 books. Pick from these 3 books. Send you a digital copy. All right. Then, so that's just for coming over. They either like it or they don't. Then put all them, let's say there's 100, put the 100 names in a one of that spinning wheel thing, and it comes up and says number 25 won. Whoever was number 25, I'll send them a signed paperback of one of the books. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Too much? Too little? Too much?
Sorry, my dogs were barking.
That's okay.
No, it that sounds like a really good incentive. It gives them an option to read your book as well and get to know you as an author.
This is my thinking, yeah. I always said that if I can get somebody to read like a chapter of the book, they're usually going to read the whole book and they're probably going to like the book and read more. So I have no problem giving away a quote unquote free sample to get somebody to do that. In fact, I do it all the time. When somebody new follows me, hey, how you doing? Like probably how I met both of you. Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for following. What kind of books do you like to read? Then we talk a little bit. And then I'm like, well, hey, you seem like I don't tell them, hey, you seem like a nice person. But I'm like, well, listen, you've got some interest here. Why don't you check out my stuff? And if you like something, I'll hook you up with a digital copy. And, you know, I just figured the same thing. I can't say that's a bad way to go. There's probably smarter things to do than that. But so far, so good. I like it because I like to get to know all these people.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I just have a question though. Say, for example, I bring 5 people. Those 5 people, are they not allowed to bring friends that they know for a fact are into the thriller and mystery genre, or how is
What do
that
you
going
think?
to work? Because then they also have to then be entered into the grand prize, isn't it?
Well, we got to be careful there. So it's like, why do I trust Heather and why do I trust you? Is because we've talked for a while. Somebody who's brand new,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not possible for me to have some rapport with them. Again, I always try to reach out. This may sound crazy. Maybe I'm only a person who does this. I try to contact every single friggin' person who follows me. I message every single one of them. It takes a long time, trust me, but I try to do it, and I'm not always successful. And it backfires. Some of them are like, "Ooh, this is creepy. I didn't want to be talking to this guy. Who is this guy?" So, all right. But I figure there's enough of me on TikTok where if anybody's got concerns, 5 minutes of looking for me, they'll see, oh, he's harmless. But so I would think no. I would say this, like not yet. So that second bucket, the new people, come enjoy. Let's see where we are 2 weeks, 4 weeks later, and then I'll do something else, and then they're welcome to the party. Like you got to hang around for a little while.
Okay, so all the old followers, the
Classic,
OGs,
not old, the original,
get,
the old gangsters.
yes, yes, the groupies get entered into the big prize, and all the new followers get into the book, the signed book thing.
And they all get a digital copy of one of my books.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
so
no,
if
that
Heather
sounds
Pierce
good.
comes to you, Heather comes to you and says, Simone, you got to check out this new author. I really like this guy. And you go and you're like, okay, I'm going to follow you now. And Heather's the one who referred me. And then I reach out to you and I say, hey, great to meet you. Thanks. Tell Heather, thank you for referring you over here or whatever, introducing us. This is what I write. What kind of stuff do you like to read? And you tell me, and I'm like, just as my way of saying thank you for joining and hopefully, a little free sample. Check out one of my books, and you say, like, okay, great. And by the way, I'm going to put you in for the appreciation thing. You'll be competing with like 100 other people to win a signed copy. Now, if you check out the book and you're like, nah, this guy's not for me, it doesn't really matter if you win the signed copy or not. Well, let's face it, what are the odds? That's not going to happen. So then it's like, if your friend recommends somebody, well, you two tell me. If a friend recommends a book, do you read the book? Do you check it out, or do you?
It depends who the friend is, firstly.
Friend, of course it does.
But yes, if it is someone, I mean, for example, Kristen has done it a few times in the last 2 months that she's told me, you have to read this book. And then I don't even ask questions, I go and read that book because I know we are sort of into the same thing, we like the same things, and I'm probably going to like it. So yeah, then I definitely go and do it.
Booker is here. Hey, Brokey. Also, I can ask this lady how she says her name. Is it Char Louise or Char Louise? I think Char Louise sounds nice, but I don't know, and I don't want to say it wrong. So, Heather, what were your thoughts on that?
I agree. I have this one friend that we basically read everything, but we have our favorites. She's big into the fantasy, but she also likes thrillers. She got me to read books I never thought I would have read and liked. So yeah, if she suggested a book, I would definitely read it. But that's the kind of friends that we want to bring to you, are the ones that are actually going to read your material.
Exactly. And to be fair, it's like I have certain friends who, when they recommend things, and they got all hot and bothered about it. Well, that's the wrong way to say it. They got all excited about it, and usually our tastes are not the same. Okay, they mean well, but our tastes are just not the same. On the other hand, I have one person, one absolutely 100%. They come to me, they're like, "You need to read this book." I don't question it. I buy the book, and you know that's that. Um,
Yeah.
Now, that person, whatever we call that person, the 100, what do you call it? The automatic read person. This person comes to you and says, "You got to read this book." You 100% buy it. Simone, how many automatic people do you have? More than one?
No.
Right. I think it's
I mean,
limited.
yes, yes, probably two, because I mean, Sarah is very much into all the horror stuff and the gore stuff, and I just love that as well. So, from the two of them, if they would tell me to go and read this, then I would probably definitely go and read that.
Heather, what about you?
Same thing. I have two. I have my friend and my sister.
Okay, so I would think, and again, you tell me, if people start to try to find four or five, they're probably not the automatic, definitely doing people anymore, right? One, maybe two, and I don't think I
Right.
have a problem with that. If
And then
something,
we're just digging in the barrel. We're like, hey,
yeah,
come on.
yeah, and
I
that's
need
what
more
we're trying to
entries.
avoid. If I just want to get a bunch of people, there are ways to do that. And I'm really this time around, I'm like, listen, I'm grateful for every follower I have. But this time I'm kind of like, hey, let's go right to the heart, go to the friends and say, you've been here a while, you know what I'm like. Who's your automatic when you say this is the book for you, they do it. Bring one of those.
Yeah.
Now fast forward a month and I'm like, maybe we do this again because out of the 100 or so friends or however many participated, only one of them got the big prize. So maybe I come back and say, hey, we really like that Sprocket, but there's a new thing called Gizmo, and Gizmo is even cooler. It prints a three-dimensional hologram. Let's get a Gizmo and do that. And then, we're right back into it. And maybe you don't have more people, but maybe that's where that second group can bring their automatics in.
Yeah.
All right, so here's
No,
what I'm
it's
thinking.
good. It's a really good plan.
I'm thinking shoot for a number like 100. At 100, the Sprocket is the prize. At maybe the Sprocket in the thing here. And then like at 150, the notebook goes in the mix. And then if we get to 200, a signed, maybe a hardcover book also goes in that package, right? So the prize gets better the more we have. Now on the other side is just the automatic, hey, signed paperback is the big prize, and everybody who enters gets the digital copy, book funnel link thing of a book. So that, and then what kind of a time frame would we think this would happen over? Like, is 7 days enough? Is that too much? Is 3 days enough time?
No, I would definitely give it longer than 3 days if you want, you know, good organization and all that. I would at least give it like a week, week and a half.
What if I came in on Monday morning and I said, okay, Friday at 5 p.m., I'm going to do this thing. You got 5 days to get me a friend over here. You know who that one person is. You don't need 5 days to do it.
No, one person doesn't need 5 days, but I mean, if you want to get like a good amount of followers, then it sometimes takes a bit of time, you know. So,
No, no, my people know to move quickly. Heather, what are your thoughts?
I think 5 days would be probably perfect because each person, we would all have those 5 days to find that one person.
I think
yeah.
each of you knows who your go-to would be. If I gave you 60 seconds to think of a name, you'd be able to think of it. The 5 days is to get the go-to to get over here. And some people are going to screw it up. It's like, hey, go-to, get over here, mention my name. It's like they comment. It's like, You didn't mention my name. Go comment and mention my name, right? So that's really where the 5 days is needed. I think whenever a promotion happens, it's all within the first 3 days that 90% of it gets done. And over the last 4 or 5 days, the other 10% kind of filter on in, which is fine. I don't care. I'm just saying, why drag it out? If you knew on Monday a prize was getting given away on Friday, it's more exciting. If you knew it was Wednesday, you'd be even more excited. Sense of urgency. And then if every day, every morning I'm like, hey, we got X number of people yesterday, but I didn't see your name, so you better get on the stick here and get me somebody, right? Or however I would phrase that. You get one of those Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and every day I'm telling you, oh, our thing is up to 100. So now the sprocket gets the writing journal with it. And oh, we're up to 150, so now you got a hardcover book. It's like, woo, go.
No, no, it does make sense what you say, because it is essentially only your friends that are going to recommend a friend. So you're not going to actually wait, to gather 300 followers until you do the actual winner.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
going to be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I thought, Heather, you were starting to say something.
Oh.
Oh no, I wasn't. I had it muted because it keeps echoing and I don't want to be an echo.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, we're not hearing an echo. I'm not. Um, so I think, yeah, and I think realistically, even though I have whatever it is, almost 4,000, 3,900 people, I'm not looking to add 3,900 people on this. I'm looking to add like 100, 150 quality people, interact with them a little bit, maybe create some new readers. And by the way, I'll ask them, hey, look, if you like the book, maybe you'll do a TikTok video. That could potentially be 100 TikTok videos going off over the next week or two. That's a lot. So, all that for $150. If I was buying a marketing program and I could get all that done for that cheap, I think I would say that's a good deal.
No, it's a very solid plan. It sounds good.
All right. Well, then that's probably what we're going to do. Now, the only question is, when are we going to do it? Well, we're not going to do it right now today because there are other things going on. Book Talk Women's got a promotion going on. Hannah's got a promotion going on. There's just other things going on. Plus, some of the stuff that I ordered, these things came quickly. I don't know why. I just ordered them and they showed up 3 days later. But for whatever reason, with the Big River Company, I ordered a couple of hardcover books. They're not coming for like 5 weeks. That's insane. Prior to Christmas, they would have been here inside of a week. No, maybe 10 days for the hardcovers. But so I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just get all my crap together and then roll forward with that.
Okay.
All right. Well, Heather, thank you for an excellent, excellent idea. Everyone, big round of applause for Heather. She came up and she
Thank
called it the
you.
scavenger hunt. So I'm not sure what's the scavenger hunt part of it.
Yeah, there isn't one. I guess we're scavenging for people.
I still like the name, so we may still call it that. So it'll be a scavenger hunt. It's not a schmiveaway. It's a reader appreciation thing, and that'll I don't know. I got a week or so to figure it out. So we probably won't do this before Valentine's Day. Okay. So what's today? The 7th. So we definitely won't do it the next week. We'll probably roll it out. We'll probably start it in between Valentine's Day and the end of February, and then in March I got some cool things I'm going to do. But this thing's only going to last like 5 days, so maybe that takes care of it. What thoughts, what questions, anything I'm missing that could possibly go wrong and cause this whole thing to be a disaster?
No.
Sounds great to me.
All right, well then we'll put a little caveat in there where it says, if we don't get to 100, like if we only get to 95, I'll probably go ahead with it. But if we only get to like 30, it's like, well, then I'll give out a signed paperback for everybody trying to help me out. I overestimated my influence and, get back to the grindstone or something.
No, I think if everyone does, just
Dark
get
Lord.
that one person, it's really not rocket science. I mean, if everyone gets one person, you should actually get a shit ton of new followers.
Well, but we won't. Not everybody likes to do something like this, and not everybody can think of something off. I know Lotus just put an apricot on my head. Thank you, Lotus. What about putting Heather, I don't think we can put an apricot on your head, can we?
No, I don't think so.
Can we put one? I just got a teddy bear. What's that? Oh, look down
Thanks,
here.
unfortunately.
Where's the
It's a
teddy? Oh, right
jelly
there.
baby bear
Oh, this
thingy.
is it. Yeah. It's a high bear. Is that what it's doing?
Thank you, Sammy.
She's going for the high gifter. Um, all right. So I think we've got some good ideas here. Listen, Heather, can you hang around, or do you need to get off and get back to work in a legit way?
No, I'm still working while we're doing this.
I just don't want to get you in trouble. Somebody says, "Hey, I saw you on a line. What are you supposed to be doing? Fixing those customer accounts?"
No, I do background checks, so it's just pretty simple.
Oh, like looking for criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you do one on me? You did,
No,
did you?
I
Did.
did not.
No? Well,
No.
I happen to know my background is pretty much squeaky clean because I do a club with grade school kids after school. And the schools, if you're going to do something at a school, they got to do a background check on you. And so far, they haven't found anything. So, as far as anybody knows, I'm clean as a whistle. All right. So let's say hi to some of our friends who have joined us. Sammy's there. We saw Sammy. Sammy, you're welcome to join if you want. Just send me over a request. I don't know. I'll invite you. Sam is always fun. Who else we got? Lotus we saw. Always good to see Lotus. Oh, is that Sammy joining us? She is. Ladies and gentlemen, Sammy Hansen. Welcome aboard, Sammy.
Hi.
How are you?
We're doing great. Thank you very much for joining. You're home today, enjoying our beautiful weather.
I just got home.
Just got home. So it's what, like 65 out there, or did it get above 70 yet?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention. I had the heat
Well,
on last night because it was so cold.
yeah, I know. Our temperature yesterday morning, I think, maybe it was this morning, I think it was yesterday morning, was like 45 degrees,
Yeah.
which
So
for the Celsius conversion, that's like cold. It's
I'm like
cold.
telling my husband, I'm like, turn the heat on. And then I was like, oh, maybe it should be off. And I'm like, no, just leave the heat on.
Oh, for those who don't know, Sammy lives near me. She's like maybe a half hour away. So whenever I see that she's on TikTok, I always invite her, then I know where she is. And we know we're safe over here. Although she could create a screen backdrop with that picture of her living room, and then I wouldn't know, would I? I wouldn't put that past you either, Sammy. Well, listen. So we're in Florida, and normally we have beautiful weather, and we actually have very beautiful weather. But we got some of that Canadian crap that's going down. Everybody's getting sick, and then our temperature dropped. It was like 45, and we don't like to do 45 if we can avoid it.
Just a little higher.
I'm in Georgia, Amanda says. Yeah, well, I think it's cold everywhere. My dad's in Ohio, and he was like, "Yeah, it was like 10 degrees." I'm like, "That's why I'm here."
Wow. Now the kids are like, oh, we can go in the pool. And I'm like, if you want to freeze because the heater isn't on in the pool, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
When we first got our pool, like the house was here, and then we added a pool later, and we did some remodeling. It has a heater, right? But we have a screen enclosure. The reason we have a screen is because
You have
just
to.
in our area, there's lots of mosquitoes, but we have a lot of trees, and there's just leaves constantly. So we just thought a screen enclosure would be better. Well, but what I didn't know, a screen enclosure like makes the temperature of the water like 10 degrees colder. So if it's 80 degrees outside, the pool's like 70. 70 is actually a little on the cool side, but I don't mind, but my wife won't get in it because it's too cold. The kids don't care. Kids, they play, they don't care. Like yours, 40 degrees, can we go in the pool? So we ran the heater a lot that first year on it. It was always like 85, 95. My wife was like, she wanted it to be a jacuzzi. She wanted it to be like 110 degrees in there. And I'm like, no, thank you. And she saw the electric going. She's like, we need to just leave this thing, maybe not run the heater except on cold days.
Yeah.
So we would literally get up like this time of year, which is February. Like I said, it's like 65, 70 degrees out. A little not really where you would want to go in the pool. It's nice enough to walk around and do things outside. But if you're in a bathing suit and wet, it gets a little cold. But on days like that, the pool would be steaming because it was warmer. It was like 90 or whatever it was. And so you'd see the steam coming off of it. And then, well, like I said, then you had the huge electric bill. And then it broke. I don't know what happened. We had a lightning storm or something, friggin' heater, and they're not cheap, right?
No,
Thing
they're
goes
not.
out. Never bothered me because I don't need it super hot anyway. But it was nice where you'd go out and like there was like a day, 45 degrees. It's snowing at my sister's house in Virginia. and I'm going swimming and I'm splashing around in the pool, and you pop your head out of the pool and you go, and you see a big cloud of steam because the air is cold, but you're like in nice warm bath water in the swimming pool. And then at some point you have to get out and grab your towel and you're like, oh my God, it's cold out here.
Oh, yeah.
That's just how we roll in Florida.
First year we were here, somebody shut my slider door and I didn't realize it. So I got out of the pool and I was running through I was thinking I was running through the door because the pool's like right here on this side of this curtain. No, I ran straight through the door. Straight through it because I was like, oh, it's so cold, I'm gonna get out and run. Because then on like all the way over there, because this is a huge master room, is like the warm shower, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so cold. Ran straight into the door.
You have to be careful too. When you get on the other side of the door, if you got tile floors or wood floors or anything, now you've got the slip and fall thing because you're running because it's cold. And usually when the kids are swimming, when I say kids, I mean my daughter and her friends, they're swimming. When they come in the house to use the bathroom or when they're done, they're going to go get dressed. The air conditioner's on because it's hot outside. That's why they're swimming. But it's nice and chilly in here. And they're like, oh, it's cold because they're all, wet and everything. So we had a friend who used to have a lot of parties and they had a pool and they put stickers on their sliding glass door right at eye level so that you would not run into it. And I was like, do people really run into this thing? She goes, my dad broke this damn door twice. That's why those stickers twice, two times.
Those are not cheap.
They're not cheap, but it's your own dad doing it,
So I was a little intoxicated when it happened. So what's it?
Couldn't have seen that coming.
So it was very to everybody else it was hilarious. To me, I was drunk and hurt and all of the things, and I just wanted the hot shower.
I can tell you this. Hey, Heather. Yeah, I understand. I knew you were not necessarily able to hang out. Allegedly, if you've been imbibing in adult beverages and you cut yourself, it bleeds a lot more because the adult beverage that's in your system prevents like coagulation a little bit, thins the blood or whatever. I hear this from, I've heard this is true. I may or may not know from actual personal experience.
Let me tell you, you're gonna have to come over and enjoy it because, like, listen, they're doing a Super Bowl party, and I'm like, listen, we're gonna have rules about the Super Bowl party because I'm scared that things are gonna go down, and I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be like,
yeah, you're the one they have to watch.
I mean, they always watch because of everything, but I'm just like, I'm always the one who's getting injured. Oh,
So we
wait.
got people making comments about how warm it is. Amanda says it's 45 minutes. Oh, she's 45 minutes from Jacksonville. It was 45. She's Book Talk Lady says it's 67. Where are you, Book Talk Lady? Where's that warm? Lotus is saying it's 45 in Minnesota. We've had a crazy warm winter this year. I thought Lotus, I thought you were telling me that not that long ago it was like 20 below zero, like
I know, like, that's so cold.
45 is chilly.
Hmm.
Here in Northern Ohio, this is Lady Wolverine. Wolverines are Michigan lady. Lady Wolverine 83 in Northern Ohio. We had a dip where wind chill was negative 21, but now we're about 45, mild winter.
I would
Why
not
is
do
everybody who's freezing to death saying it's mild? You guys need to get your minds right. It's only 56 in South Carolina. I don't know what it is right now. It was around 60 or 65 when I was running around doing my errands because I looked at the temperature in the car, but I've been in the house ever since then. So, and this is not actually your weather report. We're not trying to get as many weather reviews as we can.
Alabama.
Julie joined us. Thank you. The book lady is in Alabama. Roll Tide. I think I say that to her every time she tells me she's in Alabama, like, Roll Tide. It's like my only Alabama thing. I think I was in Alabama once for a football game, college football game. 60 degrees. Winkler's Twinkle. 60 degrees here today. She's up in Indiana, or Indiana, as they say. Sun for the first time in a long time. Yeah, I know that feeling. LOL, we are used to freezing cold in the winter. Yeah, well, in Northern Ohio, yeah, it's real cold up there. Allison saying, hi, Dan. Hi, Allison. Say hi to everybody, not just to me. I know you meant that as hi, Dan and company. Dan and so listen, we were talking about my upcoming reader appreciation shmigiveaway where I'm going to do this. What is this guy called? A sprocket. I'm going to give away a sprocket. Did you catch any of that conversation, or did you miss it, Sammy?
And caught the
That's
very
why I'm
end.
California getting some rain. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Mhm.
So I got a package that showed up. You guys want to see what's in it? I haven't looked yet. It's
Yes.
like a mystery open. All right. So I cut the top so I could open it without fighting with it. Let's see what we got. So let's get this up here, I guess. Oh, it's brightly colored, whatever the hell it is. That's it. One thing. What the hell did I order? Maybe this isn't for me. I better check. Is my name on this? Yeah. Well, I don't know what this is.
Did you get your neighbor's
I
mail?
think I misordered. I got a box of something. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. This is for these are note cards with envelopes. So look at all the different pretty colors. And I ordered some boxes. Here, like you see this box here behind me? The pink box here? And that was my Valentine's Day box. I ordered some more boxes of those in multiple colors. Hey, Denise, welcome. And so I thought I'll get multiple colored cards. These are just plain, nothing on them, to go with the multiple colored boxes. And then that's going to be for my next thing that I'm going to do. We were talking about having a Dan box and a birthday box. So I actually spent the last day or two. Oh, look, Simone's like, oh, what? What are we doing now? So I actually got the stuff for those. All right, I'll tell you what it is if you're interested.
Please tell us immediately.
Yes,
So here's
because
the
listen,
deal.
I need to order book 2. I think book 2 and 3 I still need to get because they weren't available.
Book 2 and 3 of which one? Double blind?
Double blind series. But I want paperback because you already know. I've already committed. They weren't available on the site. Like when you go on your TikTok shop.
Well, as soon as I get them in, I update the TikTok shop. If I'm out of something, they're all due this week. So just keep checking back. But so here's what we're going to put in the Dan box, okay? So the theme of the first Dan box is going to be favorites, right? So my favorite villain, I've said this a million times, my favorite villain is in Primary Target, which is book 2 of the Double Blind series, right? That's my favorite villain. Favorite secondary character is from A Place of Shadows. It's Father Frank. So those are going to be the 2 books in that box, signed paperbacks, okay? Then I'm going to take tissue paper and wrap them up in the little bow tie, little tuxedo looking thing. I don't know why, because I think it looks cool. But instead of, for the Dan box, the first one, I was going to go tuxedo style. I was going to have black boxes, wrap the book like a tuxedo with a little black tissue paper, and then like cut a little sticker looking bow tie thing to hold the thing shut. You know what I'm saying? So like if this is the book, I'll do it this way. If this is the book, the paper comes down like this here and down like this here, like this, and then where it overlaps, then put like a little bow tie looking sticker that I would have to hand cut, mind you. So I thought that might be cute, right? So this is in a black box. Then to pad the around part, I ordered black, like not shredded paper, but like crinkled paper stringies, which is not quite as messy.
That was so fun though.
Listen, my
Sounds like
kids.
it, right? So then I go through and I'm looking for what else. So we talked about it's got to have a skull mug, right? In the Dan box. So skull guy. It's gonna have Crystal Light Peach Mango Green Tea. So I'm giving a little packet of that in the Dan box. A pizza cutter, right? Then check this out. I printed out.
It really is a damn box.
So we're not done yet. I printed out my pizza and sauce recipe and signed it. So I got 20 copies of this. That's going to go in the Dan box. I have little hardcover writing journals that I use at my authors club, but I got some of them are a little nicer than others. So this would be like a black one. It's got like, it's not felt, but whatever, some kind of nice soft front. It makes more sense if you see it. So there's like a black one, I think a pink one, a blue one. There's only like 3 colors, but so just whatever I got, get 20 of those, put one in each box. So you get the little writing journal. Then Then you get a feather quill pen,
Stop.
actually you can write with, to go to write your writing journal. So even if you don't get the big prize with the journal and all that, you get the other, which is the little writing journal. It says notes on the front. You can use one of two ways. It can be your police detective notes as you're trying to figure out the next murder mystery you're reading of mine, or
So
it can be updating about what book, how many stars, all that kind of stuff, right?
I know, right? I'm like, I'm sold.
I know. Well, maybe you won't be when you hear the price. So then
I don't care.
it's got to have a toe tag bookmark, of course, right? And then last but not least, a personalized card from moi, wherein I write something in my chicken scratch to you. And if you can figure it out, maybe you win an additional prize. So I add all this stuff up, right? So I'm going on Amazon, I'm buying this, I'm buying that, going to Walmart.com. They got some of these things. Dollar Store has some really nice little pizza cutters because that's where I got my first one and it lasted like 5 years. So Dollar Store, but it was a good one. So I'm getting all that stuff together. I got the toe tags printed. I got my cards just came. And there was one other thing. This is like the best part. I forgot this part.
What?
Pay attention. I was trying to find the little sunglass emoji fuzzy. I couldn't find them. My daughter's like, you're just gonna have to look around, and you can buy them online, but you have to buy a pack of 20, and only one of the 20 is a sunglasses one. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So then somebody, I don't remember who, said, get a sticker that's a smiley face with the sunglasses and have the caption be, that's how I get you. So I was like,
Oh my
okay. So I went and I got that. So that's in there. You can only get this sticker. I'm not going to sell this sticker. The only way you can get this sticker is if you get the Dan box, okay? Now, this Dan box doesn't exist. We're not going to even offer it for sale for a couple of weeks. So we'll get all excited about it then.
No,
But
I'm
here's
not
the,
excited. It's
so
fun.
here's what the thing is. So you got the primary target paperback. So the signed copy of that in my TikTok shop is $21.99. You got the A Place of Shadows signed paperback copy of that. Again, in my TikTok shop, the signed copy of that is $19.99, right? So you're already in for over $41 just at that point, right? Then you got the skull mug. So if you got to go buy that somewhere, because they don't have them at the dollar store right now. Sorry, so it's not $1. So it was like a couple bucks. You got and the tissue paper. I got a wrap the cute little bow tie on the books. Crystal Light Peach Mango Green Tea. Got to get a little pack of that. Make yourself a half gallon and sit around and take a delicious sip. Then pizza cutter, right? Sunglass emoji sticker, the writing journal, the feather quill pen, the toe tag bookmark. All that adds up to about $75, and shipping is usually like $20. So you're like $95 if I got to ship this to you. But the TikTok store, if it's over $20, they tend to give you free shipping. And $75 is a lot of money. So I said, $59.99. I'm going to do that whole box, $59.99. $41 of that $59 is the 2 books, for Pete's sake. This is how much I love. I love my people. So I go online and I'm order, buy, spending hundreds of dollars, right? Ordering books. First friggin' email I get, the beautiful black box I want to put it in, delayed, out of stock. Maybe we'll get it to you in a month or so. I'm like, are you friggin' kidding me?
It has to work. I
Crazy
need the
colored
Dan
boxes
box.
that match these goofball things, they're gonna come tomorrow. It's Easter. You would think that would be the one. Or Easter's coming. You would think that would be the one that's out. No. The crazy rainbows, we got those. We'll hook you up. The black elegant tuxedo, can't have it.
But I need it in the Dan box. I
There is
will
no
wait.
Dan
I
box
will
without the
patiently
black
wait.
box. I'm putting tuxedos on my books. They got to have like elegant limousine to ride in, and there's no rainbow colored limousine. It's got to be a black stretch limo box. That's the deal.
Listen,
So
I
until the
will wait.
boxes show
I will
up, there's no Dan box. Dan box doesn't exist until I get my boxes.
I will wait
I
for this Dan
agree.
box.
Can you friggin' believe it? Everything else, every other stinking item is going to show up a week, 10 days, 14 days, and then right when they said they would. I don't care, because I wasn't going to do this for the next 2. This is going to be like a March thing.
Yeah.
But it needs my black box. Black box can't have it. No, we're going to delay that one. When? How long? Well, we're not sure. We'll get back to you, maybe.
Well, I would definitely rather wait for a black box because I mean, if you
Yeah.
the Place of Shadows, isn't that the paranormal book? So if you put that in a clown box, it's not going to work. No one's going to be scared, you know? So no, I would definitely wait for the black boxes.
Yeah, I think we need the black box. And it has to say the damn box.
We must have a black box. That's all there is to it.
I'm gonna have to like put it up on the shelf and then it's gonna say the damn box.
So I got to get like a sticker or something that says the Dan box for it. I guess I
Listen, listen. I always, when I do my videos, do I not say the Dan book? Do I not say that? Go see Dan.
You do.
And I
You got to
always,
read the Dan.
it's a Dan book.
So
Go
that's the
see
Dan box. And you got to admit, $59. If they're giving you free shipping for 2 signed paperbacks that are all by themselves cost 41, I think it's a pretty good deal. So that's what I'm looking at for that. And I think it's, I try to create something that's fun because I got to admit, let's just say everybody gets their Dan boxes and then we say, okay, we're going to have a Dan box party. Everybody get your plastic, we're going to get you all on screen. Everybody's got their Crystal Light Peach Mango in their skull mug. We're all going to cheers, do a toast, right? There's like 9 people all raising their skull mugs. Tell me that wouldn't kick butt.
You know what you should put in the box, Dan? Instead of the plushie that you could not get, I know you've done the stickers now, but you should get everyone a pair of sunglasses. And then everyone can sit on screen with their skull mug and their sunglasses. How cool would that be?
Well, that would be pretty cool. But the box has been decided. We're going to do the sticker.
Can be altered. Don't be like that.
There you go. Well, but
Just
those
look
are,
at that. I mean, it's incredible.
it should be a lot of fun, I think. So I'm
I
looking
feel like we
for
would have a lot
to
of
make
fun.
like, I think on that one we're going to make 20, but there's like not a time limit. So it's not like, oh, you have to have the Dan box in March. It's like, you can buy it whenever, but the big thing would be we're going to have a Dan box party and maybe everybody gets to pull out their skull mug and we all drink together. Because, as I've said many times, it is peach mango green tea, but it could just as easily be something else.
Bourbon.
Well, I'm saying, who would know from that color? Beer is that color. There's lots of things that color. Certain wines are that color. And with the camera resolution, it could be anything. So not super critical on that. Plus, you're allowed to drink whatever you want out of your Dan mug. So now,
Exactly.
actually, I just had another idea. Simone, you gave me another good idea. When I got those coffee cups, I tried to sign one, and coffee is like, ceramic. It's whatever that. It's not a coating, but it's just very shiny, right? And you can't sign it.
Yeah.
But this, being good old Chinese plastic, I can probably, that probably get us kicked off. I can probably sign these, so you could have it autographed right there.
You
I
just
don't
want to be
know
able
how
to wash
people
it.
think about it.
Like you don't have to be hand washed.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, if you get a mug, a plastic skull mug from Dan Alatorre, would you even wash that thing? Because, I mean, in all fairness,
Yeah,
he
if you
did touch
use it, you got
it
to wash it.
with his hands. So you would probably not wash it ever.
It's gonna go on the
No,
You
shelf.
no,
know?
you got to wash it. If you drink it, first of all, there's no point in having a mug you don't drink out of. If you drink out of it, you got to wash it.
You can drink water out of it. It cleans it and it hydrates and all in one.
Who we got there?
Oh, it's my little girl.
Let's
This is
see.
Aria.
Oh, what a beauty. She's a cutie. How old is she?
She's 4.
Aww.
The bunny's birthdays are this Sunday. They're
Her
brother and
birthday
sister, right?
next.
They're going to be 4 years old, our bunnies are.
Oh,
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I just found out about that because I have an Outlook reminder. Because apparently last year there was some big debate about when their birthday was, how old they were, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know how old they are. They're 4 years old, but they're 4 years old as of this Sunday. Because that's when, bunny hair started showing up on every dark shirt I own.
yeah.
But so it's going to be a bunny birthday on Sunday. I don't know if we have anything planned, maybe a cake.
Oh,
It's
how
always good excuse to have a
sweet.
chocolate cake.
You
So
can
what do you
make
think?
it
Should I try to sign one of these things? I have one here. Should I try to sign it and see how good it turns
Well,
out?
if you put it like if you actually drink it, like drink out of it, you won't be able. Like I don't know if they're dishwasher safe. You can't put it through the dishwasher.
Are you kidding? I totally wash mine in the dishwasher all the time. All the time. In fact, if something can't go in the dishwasher, I'm kind of averse to buying it in the first place. I definitely don't want to be washing things by hand. My daughter got this big, what are those big things? The big steel drinking cups with the
Stanley
handles.
That.
with the
Yes,
yummy.
thank you, Stanley.
Oh.
The thing is almost as big as her, and it weighs almost as much as her. And she comes out and puts this big 55-gallon drum on the counter, and she goes, "Dad, this has to be hand washed." I step back. I'm like, "There's the sink, sweetie. That's the soap." And she's like, "Oh, I'll wash it." I'm like, "Yeah, because I ain't gonna, not by hand. If that thing, first of all, it's made out of the same thing they make like fighter jets out of. So if it, like armored tank divisions have this as their this Stanley Cup stuff, not Stanley Cup, mug, whatever it is, made out of the same material apparently. I mean, they weigh that much, and it can't go in the dishwasher. No, thank you. No, I'm not doing that. I didn't buy it, as you might guess. I'm not opposed to it being in the house, but I'm fearful that if she were to drop it, it will put a hole in the floor. So,
Oh yeah, they're
so
not.
all right. So I think the mugs I ordered are clear. I think they're just like this one, right? So I would probably sign it like Simone. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right.
Right-handed. Sammy, you
Mm-hmm.
too?
Yep.
All right, me too. So if I'm holding it in my right hand and I sign on this side, right, if I hold the handle, I sign on this side, then you can show off to all your friends the signature. So now the question would be, I think a Sharpie will stick to this. We're going to try it out in a second. But I have, as you know, many different colors of Sharpies. So should I try to sign it in black or red or green or purple, or does it matter?
Black. I would
Black.
just do black.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as you may have also guessed, signing a round object probably isn't as easy as it looks. So let's figure out, let me bolster my hand with some books. So I'm going to put my hand on the books and try to sign this thing. And that might work, it might not. All right, let's see. Here we go. So I'm either creating an heirloom or wasting a perfectly good plastic cup. This is not going to work too well. Here we go.
I love it.
I mean, it looks like your signature.
The Dan part does. The other part, because it's on a curve, so it was getting kind of far away and going downhill. So it kind of turned out a little smaller than it normally would.
I really like it. I think it
Well,
looks
maybe I
so
should just
good.
sell these on the website and forget about the whole book box thing.
We need the box.
All right,
It's
so if you're
so
drinking
cool.
it, so I got to make sure I sign it a little over more so when you're drinking it, you can be showing off the, and it's kind of skinny, to be honest. I thought it would be fatter. This is a regular Sharpie. All right, so we got the signature on there. Now, how long do we wait for it to dry before we see if it passes the smudge test? Do I check it now? Should it be dry now?
Oh, don't ask me.
Here we go. Ready? No smudge. No smudge.
Yay.
Work. All right, I'm going to go into my thing here for the Dan box. I'm going to change it to autographed frickin' skull mug. Oh, you know what else? The skull mugs I bought, I have an orange one. The black would really show up better on that, but this is kind of an ugly mug. The ones I ordered for these, this is my reserve of skull mugs in case I break mine.
Hi.
Just
Hi,
in my little
guys.
drawer. Now, how vain is it if I start drinking out of this one? People would be like, "Yeah, there's dirt on your thing. Is that your autograph? You're drinking out of something you autographed yourself?" I'm like, that's how I roll. So you got to see this sticker. It is so cute. It's got the big round brightly yellow smiley with the sunglasses, and then across the top, that's how I get you. And then underneath, I think it says Dan Alatorre Mystery Novels or something like that, which is smaller font. The big font is That's How I Get You. Whose idea was that? Who gave me that idea? That was such a great idea.
Orange one reminds me of the one from like Red Robin when you're like super intoxicated and you're being driven home.
I'm gonna go in my document here, change this to hand plastic skull mug. Now it's going to say autographed
Yeah.
skull mug. That's awesome. All right, so I'm glad we got to address that. So we're pretty thumbs up on the scavenger hunt reader appreciation thing I'm going to do. So that's good. We're pretty much thumbs up on the Dan box. But wait, there's more.
I
Simone, what month of the year does your birthday occur?
Me?
Mhm.
May. I
Then,
celebrate all month.
so Sammy's in May.
November.
Simone, what about you?
November, 8th November.
November. Well, some people are going to have a birthday in March, and I thought I would come up with a birthday box. This would be like you get to pick your color of what you want your birthday box to be. So, Simone, let's just suppose it was October and you were wanting a birthday box for your birthday in November. What color would you might pick? I'm going to tell you, you get choices of blue, I think, yellow, kind of a light green, kind of a, yeah, okay, we can see them here. By the way, these are the cards. So the card is gonna match the box, but the boxes are more or less these colors. So we're gonna have, I think there's 6 colors. There's like blue, kind of a light green, yellow, there's red, there's pink. So how many is that? There's probably a purplish lavender.
I want pink. It's always pink.
So you get your pink box, then you get a pink card, as close as I can get it to match. Then I, once again, do you a little hint. So here is what's going to be in the first birthday box that we offer, all right? This will probably be a March thing. So, again, 2 autographed books. What will they be? So I figured we'd go with Killer in the Dark, right? Because that takes place at spring break. She goes missing at spring break, which is right around that March time of year. And then The Navigators, which also deals with college kids kind of thing. So I thought, okay, there's a nice tie-in. Then once again, we come in. Now this time, we do the nice little tuxedo. We're going to say we're going to not tuxedo them, but we're going to maybe beach towel them, although there's not a beach towel in here, with just colorful tissue paper, maybe pink if pink is the theme you go with. And then for whatever needs to be protected, we're going to use probably pink or different kind of color, not black. That shredded crinkly paper stuff. Because it's birthday, you get a little assorted bag of Jelly Belly, gumdrop, what are they not? They're jelly beans that say happy birthday on it. You get the Jet Thacker coasters because Killer in the Dark is a Jet Thacker book. So you get the 2 coasters, autograph. Wait, let me show you. I got those here. I spent the other day signing. So check these out.
I'm still waiting for my original book to arrive.
See? So I signed that. And I signed that. It's a little harder to see. But I signed them in the color, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I tried to sign across the white letters so you could actually see it. And you can see it pretty good. But it's like, I like it subtle. So it kind of matches. Green is the color there. Green is then red is the color here. So you get green and red, right?
I love that.
I do.
But what happens if you have Killer in the Dark, though?
You will. You'll have it because you, what if you already have it?
Yeah.
Then you have an extra one to give away to a friend. So then we're going to have, oh, did I show you this? What did I do with them? So if you read Tiffany Lynn is Missing, the other Jet Thacker book, there's letters that show up in nice calligraphy that she recognizes as her daughter's handwriting. And it says, do you remember what it says?
Yes. Yes. Stop. Are we getting the letters?
You're getting a letter. So
Stop!
it says,
Oh my
don't
gosh.
worry, don't
Stop
look
it.
at me. Oh, I got them right here. Right here. I had them under the, I printed out the recipe thing and I forgot I printed out the other ones too. Here you go, check this out.
Stop.
Are you ready? Watch this. Hold on. Let me just get one. Let me just get one. All right, here we go.
Are you talking postmarks from Christmas?
So it's going to be like this, and you unfold it. And it says, don't worry and don't look for me. And then I signed that too. Now this is just going to be like in there, right? Fold it up, it's in there, right? So if you know, you know. If you don't know, you're like, what the hell is this? But if you know, you know, right? So I printed, check this out. So I printed 20 of these, right? So I got them all here. And they all say that. Don't worry and don't look for me, right? And then I signed those. I got to admit, I felt a little silly when I was doing it. But I know how you get. So trying to think of things that you would like.
So much.
All right, now hang on. So it gets better. Then, because it's birthday, so I got, I'm going to call them fizzies, like a bath fizzy or a shower fizzy, right? But it's shaped like a cupcake because it's birthday. So I'm giving you a birthday cake. It's actually a bath fizzy. So you get one of those. And they're different colors too. Those are cute. Then, Okay, so the first book is Killer in the Dark. Second book is The Navigators. Well, The Navigators is about these kids who discover a time machine. So guess what I got? I went online, I searched and I searched. In The Navigators, the first time they test the device, they're going to use a pocket watch that is a friend of theirs. That's not actually what ends up happening, but it's like a conductor's watch. So I got a conductor's watch that's going to go in. It's got like antique looking numbers. It's like, it looks like it came out of a time travel book, to be honest. So I got that. Okay. I got that in there. So you got a cupcake, fizzy, you got an antique pocket watch kind of thing. All right. Of course, you got to have a bookmark. So I went in. Now back to Killer in the Dark. Killer in the Dark, there's a predator is killing people, and there's a big cat zoo. Big cats, lions, tigers, big cats, right? There's a big cat zoo right there. So they think Bronson Keenan, the owner of the zoo, his cats are getting out and hurting people. So the bookmark is on the front. I just made this night before last. On the front, it's going to be Killer in the Dark, right? Which is, the green. Here, it looks like this, right? This is what's on the front. But it's a bookmark, so it's longer. When you turn it over, it's a ticket to Bronson Keenan's Wild Aussie Animal Preserve, right? So it's like
I love
admit one, it's got a
that.
barcode, it's got a picture of a lion on it. So, right? So that's awesome. Okay. And then last but not least, once again, a personalized card from me. That's going to be the March birthday box. And then each month we'll think of, maybe if I have a friend like Simone, maybe you could pick out what the November box would be, right? And then sometime in October, we come up with the November box. And Sammy, you said yours was what? Was May? So
May.
maybe you get to
May,
come up
May,
with the,
September.
yeah, maybe you get to decide, help me decide what's going to be in it. We could even put a poll up and say, what should be the two books that are going to be in the June birthday box, right? And each month will be like a different color, or maybe you get to pick your color. I don't care.
I
So
love
that would be,
that. I love this boxes thing. It's making me all happy.
I know, it's so much fun. And so here's the thing. Here's what I didn't understand. I was watching, so remember the first box I did? I sent out a bunch of boxes, and then we got the idea for the Valentine's Day box. So when I was making the Valentine's Day box, I was thinking about all the videos I watched of people who opened the first box. It's just a white box. It wasn't a tan box. It wasn't a cardboard ugly box. It was white. It was pretty, but it was a solid box. And the first person I think that I sent the pink Valentine's Day box to said it looked like it got run over by a truck. Remember Hannah on her video, she said she had to rebox it because the box kind of got destroyed. So I'm like, oh, maybe these boxes aren't holding up. Well, nobody else had a problem so far, knock on wood, that we know of. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to stick with the colored boxes then. So I ordered the colored boxes, right? Except for the black one, which apparently is not coming. We'll see. Okay.
We hope.
So I was going somewhere with that. I forgot where I was going with that.
That's the thing.
Oh, so the videos. So one of them, I forget who did it, kind of sat down and opened the box like to the camera. Because as she was opening it to the camera, right? And I was like, oh, it presents so much better. And somebody else, I think Hannah went through, or somebody, maybe it was Book Talk Woman, went through and kind of opened it. Oh, look at this, look at that. And I was like, that's the presentation. I want the box to present well. So in that first box that I did, that I just sent out to everybody, it didn't really present well. So I really went out on my way on the Valentine's Day box to make sure that when you opened it up, it looked good. So I signed the lid. I put a little wooden heart on there. Everything was kind of arranged where even though I have to, wrap and bubble wrap some of the things, I put the little bath fizzy that was in there, folded it in tissue paper so you could find it, and it wouldn't get lost among the packing peanuts. And the little pen that was in there, which I say past tense, it's all, you can still get one. There's like 2 left. So that was my lesson I learned there. I'm watching all these people do their videos, the first round, and I'm like, they're like digging and they're having to go through this. The second one, they open up, it's like, it's like, looks so nice when they open. I was like, that's the way to do that. So I've been watching other unboxing videos. I was like, how do these people get these things to look so good when they open the box? Are people cheating and they're opening the box and arranging it so it looks nice and then closing the box, say, here, I'm going to open the box now for the very first time. Now look how good everything looks. So I'm just like, that's the way to go. So I'm going in, gonna put the two boxes on the two books on the left side, arrange the other stuff. I'm gonna put that crinkly paper around it, so it's all kind of gonna look nice when you open it up. And then that's the way we're going with there. So listen to this. So with this, the birthday box, the one we're gonna do for March, again, can't buy it. Don't ask. It's not available yet. Everything's going on. But for the birthday box for March, so Killer in the Dark, signed copy of that, signed paperback of that. That's $20.99. The Navigators, signed copy of that. Now that's, oh, by the way, that's in the original cover. If you buy the ebook, it's got the red cover. The original one is, I got one around here somewhere, but it's of the girl's face with the mine and the clock kind of thing next to it. It's the original. You guys said you like, oh, by the way. So this is a book, this is Stinky Toe. We're gonna have a Stinky Toe challenge, which I'll get to that later. So you can see how it's shiny? I like the book covers to be glossy. When I did the Navigators, the original Navigators cover, it's a matte finish, and it feels like it's paper, all right? But it kind of has a different textury feel to it. It almost feels like they took velvet and took the velvety part off the velvet. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but it's not glossy. It's not shiny and slick like that. It's a matte finish. So it just feels a little different. So that's the original. I know you guys like the originals. So I went and got the originals, got those made up. So we got the original books, right? So the two books alone, you're at $40 already, right? But then you got the Jelly Bellies, you got the coasters. These things ain't cheap, let me tell you. Custom things, not cheap. So autographed coasters. Oh, and then I got aromatherapy candles. Little nice, beautiful little aromatherapy candle. All right, I'm not gonna tell you what scent I bought, but it smelled so good. It smelled so good, and it's aromatherapy candle. So you light your little candle. By now you've already got your Dan box, so you got your green tea and your skull mug. And you're enjoying your aromas. You're kicking back with Killer in the Dark, watching tigers kill people. Theoretically, I'm not saying who did what in that story.
Listen,
You got,
everything
you
that
got
it
your
claims is
cupcake,
funny.
you got your cupcake, shower fizzy, bath fizzy, right? So you're gonna take your nice bath, maybe relax with your aromatherapy in there. The pocket wash thing is so cool. Is so cool. When those come in, by the way, that also not back ordered. Antique pocket watches, you can get them like this. A black friggin' box, can't have it. The bookmark, I just custom made those the night before last. I was up till 3 in the morning tweaking this design for Bronson Keenan's Wild Aussie Animal and Preserve, right? Zoo and Preserve, whatever the heck it's called. I could show you a picture of it. I could. I'm not gonna. Not today. Not today. Soon, but not today. Maybe today. But let me finish. All right. So all that, you add all that up. Again, if you were to put all that in, $97.90. All right. Then you got shipping, another $20 for that. You're over $117 for this crazy thing, which no, I'm not gonna let you do that. But again, through the TikTok shop, allegedly you get free shipping if it's over $20. And then I knocked the price down to $69.99 for the birthday box. So the March birthday box, under $70, free shipping, and it's got all that cool stuff in it, including a cupcake, a bath fizzy, including 2 autographed books, including autographed coasters. I am just so incredibly proud. And plus, don't forget, a personalized note to you from moi, which also has, instead of the full, what did I do with my signed mug? Did I put it away? Instead of the full autograph, right? The full autograph. The personalized note is just Dan, because we're friends. You know who I am. I'm Dan, right? That's what I've been doing. That's what kept me up till 3 in the morning the other night. This is what I was dragging butt all day yesterday, dying for a nap yesterday, not today. I'm just
It's
gonna
really
take a
so
moment.
cool. I love it.
I know, it sounds so much fun. And within certain parameters, you'll be able to pick the color of the birthday box that you want, right? So we may just come up with, okay, Sammy gets to pick May. May is going to be yellow or whatever color she wants. May is that color. You don't get to change. Sammy gets to pick May. Simone gets to pick November, right? Something like that we'll do, right? And then, of course, if somebody really hates you, like if they're allergic to yellow, okay, you can switch to blue.
Allergic to yellow.
I think that's fun. Now, is it better to let them pick the color of the box they want? Because the paper shredded stuffy that goes inside, I don't have every color of that. I got like one color of that. I think it's green is what I got.
No one would
I
like the
think each
color
month,
pink. But
each
Krista,
month definitely be one color for all of it. You know, like it has to be the theme of the month.
yeah.
You know what? Feisty Krista just rolled by. She said no one would like the color I picked. I think you're the one who presented the box so nicely. I think it was her. No, no, it wasn't her. Hers was great. But the other, someone else sat and opened it up to the camera, which was such a cool idea. But she really did a great job of showing off. Orange, we might have gotten orange. Orange is nice, like a peachy orange kind of color to match the peach mango green tea. I am all about
Peach
the
is
orange.
the color of 2024 apparently, so everyone should love peachy orange.
That's the color for the year, peach.
I don't know the color of the year.
I would never know such a thing. Blue is going to be the
Yeah.
color of the year for me. So what do you think? So I'm going to have a different birthday box every month. So what if your birthday is the first of the month? I figured maybe I got to announce the box a week before. So like a week before March, we announce the March box. But honestly, I'd rather do it on the first. And then if you have your birthday as March 1st, then just order it on the first and it shows up when it shows up. It's still fun to get a box in the mail.
Am I gonna have to wait a year for a February birthday box?
Why? Why, Becca?
Yeah, Becca wants to know what about a February box because she just missed hers.
Oh. Well, we might have to go retro for a few friends because who's super helpful, kind, considerate, nice. She stomps the mushrooms as quick as they pop up. Notice we haven't gotten one violation notification. I got one the other day on the live I was doing. Oh, I had this funny idea.
Fuzz. What is that?
Why?
That's seriously the color? Interesting.
Peach fuzz? Peach fuzz?
Pantone Peach Fuzz is the color of the year.
Pantone? I don't even know what that is. But it doesn't matter because it's only going to be whatever color boxes the box company makes, and I don't think they're using Pantone Peach Fuzz.
Oh, you deal with color. Yeah, that's true. She would know. Yeah.
Oh, I had her on last night, and I was going to have her maybe custom paint a mug for me and then like give it away. We're kicking that idea around. Gotta go look that color up.
It's not. It was so pretty.
So we got a lot coming down the pipeline. We got
Really fun.
the scavenger hunt thing where you could win this cool. This thing is so heavy. It's like this is heavy. This is hard to pick up. There's a lot of pages in this thing. So you get this cool thing for like read appreciation for referring high quality friends. We got Simone. You had the idea. Was it your idea to print out the pizza recipe and have that?
No.
No, that wasn't yours. Well, I'm gonna give you credit for it. Somebody had that idea. Maybe it was Krista. I'll give Krista credit. Everybody can take credit. Somebody said it. I didn't think that one up.
No,
And it worked.
I didn't say anything about the pizza recipe. We spoke about the pizza evenings.
I know who told me. I just saved it. I emailed it myself in a note. I saved it in my computer, but I don't want to go digging through my computer to find it because I pushed my keyboard way far away. So we're not going to look it up. All right. So that takes care of 2 of the items for business for today. Should we proceed on to item number 3? All right.
Please.
This one, Simone, you're going to be front and center on this. Sammy, you're back up.
I'm back up. Okay, got it. I'm perfect.
In case Simone is unable to fulfill her obligations, you will be expected to step in and wear the crown. And this is also for all our people watching at home, not at home, well, wherever they are. As I have come to find, many readers really, really, really love a genre specifically. Hi, Kayla. So if I ask them, which I always do, what genres do you enjoy reading the most? Or I usually ask what genre, singular, do you enjoy reading the most? Vast majority of people who reply, women, it's almost 99% women who are involved in book talk. They inevitably say romance. Now that does not surprise me because romance is the most popular genre, right? And then mystery is second to that. Am I right, mystery? So I'm cool with that. But as we know, I usually have a romantic subplot. So theoretically, technically, mine are romance as well. But a fair portion of people who kind of skip the broad category of romance get right to the punch. They say smut, or they say dark romance, or they say, well, you know what all the subcategories are. They say that. So one said, I like fantasy, dark fantasy, high fantasy, this kind of fantasy. She goes, I read all kinds of things: fantasy, light fantasy, dark fantasy, cosplay fantasy. I'm like, that is quite a spectrum of fantasy. But so Simone and I were having a question, and she said that she thinks there would be a market for me if I were to stick a toe in the water, shall we say, of the more steamier, spicier end of the spectrum of writing. Now, my first thought was probably won't do it. And my second thought was I might, though, because The Italian Assistant had a lot of steam in it. Some of the Jet Thacker scenes were said to be very romantic. Couple scenes that people found to be steamy, well, when they were on the mountainside, right, and the snowstorm came, kind of steamy, right? I'm not immune to romance. I know what the ladies like. So I asked Simone for a couple of examples of books that would. I'm not going to put you on the spot here, okay? But I'm going to say these titles because you suggested some different things. And my question is this. So first of all, let me tell you what the titles were. I said, give me some examples of what are like good steamy things. Because I was a critique partner for Pam Godwin when she wrote Dark Notes. Okay, that's been a while, but that was, in my view, that was erotica. But she's a New York Times bestselling author because she writes steamy stuff. But there's a plot, there's suspense, there's interesting characters, there's things going on where you're like, what's going to happen? And also steam, okay? Or spice, as it were. Okay, so even though we know all my readers are just as pure as the driven snow, apparently, in the confines of their own home, they're not afraid to crank the thermostat up a few tads on their books when they go searching, all right? So, but I wrote The Italian Assistant, and I asked Simone, I said, whenever a love scene is occurring in that book, there's almost always a comedic element. That's because it's basically a comedy, but I still wrote the scene. There's the romance, there's the slow burning passion, there's also the getting it on, because they get it on a lot in that book. But there's always a comedic element there to kind of keep it safe, right? But were someone to remove the comedic element from those scenes, they are still steamy scenes, okay? Clearly, I have the talent to write that. So I asked her, I said, if those comedic elements were removed, would the scenes hold up? I think she gave a diplomatic answer of, yes, but they are written with the comedic scenes and for the timing and everything else, blah, blah, blah. But clearly, and I'm going to paraphrase, she said, clearly, Dan, as a master writer, you obviously have shown the ability to beautifully craft a romantic, passionate, steamy, spicy scene. Now, there are those, and they will remain unnamed at the moment, who have read several of the books that I've written featuring Jet Thacker. Of my spectrum of writing, not counting The Italian Assistant, Jet is the one most likely to venture into a steamy situation, should we say, okay? Now, I'm inclined to not have Jet do that because I kind of like where Jet is. Although she does stray from the true path occasionally. But it's what we like to call a close the bedroom doors type of scene. As the passion begins, we shut the door and the reader gets to use their imagination, and the next chapter opens with everyone trying to catch their breath and wiping the sweat off their brow, and they're like, damn it, Dan, why didn't you leave those doors open? I understand. On the other hand, it's not fair to readers who read 2 books without that kind of surprise in it, then suddenly open book 3 and be, oh my God, when did this happen? So I'm inclined to create a new character and have that character have whatever it would be, whether a cop, an investigative reporter, whatever, it doesn't matter. And that would be the poor innocent woman who finds herself in this horrible circumstance, and then she falls for the brigand and, Beauty and the Beast thing or whatever it would be, right? Okay. So the first question is, do it with an existing character or create a new series so that there's not surprises. When you open a bag of Pringles, a can of Pringles, and there shouldn't be nuts and bolts and washers in there. It should be Pringles, right? So Jet's already established her books with two. So she's not like she doesn't get steamy, but it ain't that steamy, right? It ain't that kind of steam. It ain't sweating on the brow steam for the reader, okay? So I'm inclined to create a new character. What are your thoughts?
Sammy, you go first.
Listen, listen, listen. I feel like that any author at any time in their career should be able, I want to say, to start writing a new genre, that they should be able to continue to push boundaries. So I alpha read, what, like 3 weeks ago? And another person said, why is this happening? This is too much. And I'm like, number one, when you alpha read, the author gives you, right, everything that's like all the trigger warnings. And you say, yes, I can handle. Correct?
I don't do that.
And I'm like, I can handle anything. Just throw that list out the window. That's a shopping list. Now, I want more from Jet and Aaron.
No.
Not Aaron?
No,
Jet, or neither one?
I think it. Now, I'm not saying I want scenes. Like I need like all the spice, like 10. I'm just saying I think there should be more. Do not. Jet and Aaron belong together. Do not separate them.
You know he's going to jail, right?
Shush. I already know this.
Rich, you'll be able to delay it for a while, but
Can you please delay it? Just delay it. How far can we delay it? Like book 7?
he's got money and good attorneys. You never know.
know. Yes, the evolution of spice is great. But like, fine. Just start a new series. I'll read it. Just spice
That was
them
my
up.
question. So, like I said, certainly of all the characters who were going to go spicy, it would probably
Oh
be.
my god, this is great. That was great character
That
development.
is funny.
No, that was great. Oh my gosh.
I hadn't thought of that actually until just now. All right, so here's a different take. What do you think? Well, actually, Simone, we didn't get your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts?
I would not do an existing series. Just because it is established, the tone is set, everything is there. If you suddenly bring it full on spice attack, it's going to be weird, you know? So something new that has that from the get-go, that you can get, you know, you grow with these characters and you get to know them as these spicy characters, and it's a spicy series and it's amazing. And you just let Aaron and Jet have their vanilla life in
Well, it's not
those
exactly
books.
vanilla, but yeah, I take your point. All right, so now the next question. This is maybe more important. When you buy a Dan Alatorre book, you are getting a murder mystery, you're getting this, that, the other. You really haven't, except for The Italian Assistant, and that's a comedy, you really haven't ventured too far into the spice realm. But there are those who believe the really good spicy books are not written by men in the first place. So what if I were to produce such a book? Would I use a pen name?
Yep.
Should I use a female pen name for that book?
Why does it gotta be a female pen name?
Well, because that was the thing, is that the women write the better sex scenes anyway.
Do they?
Well, I was telling Simone this earlier. There was a lady who on TikTok, she voiced that opinion, and her friends hooked her up with, I forget how many, several, 4 or 6 different books that maybe it was e-readers, and they blocked out to where she would not know who had written it. She just starts reading the story. She didn't know anything about the story. And then when she was done, how well written, how steamy, how this, that, and the other. The man who wrote it got number 1. Let's say out of the top 3, he was like number 1. And in the top 3 was a man who wrote under a pen name as a woman, and that was one of her top 3 as well. And then there was a woman. She didn't like the results, so she went back to like get a bigger sample, so to speak. And I was like, you got a result, you just didn't like the result.
Right.
I know that there are many, many pen names that are a female pen name that are written by men. That doesn't mean I wouldn't consult my female friends, especially my female author friends, or that I wouldn't consider, wouldn't ask for some input from a group that may or may not be formed in the near future called the Dan's Steam Team to help gauge the plot and maybe read the chapters as they're written and give me an assessment on 1 to 10, the steam level. Now, I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy, all right? I like a slow build. I like a lot of teasing, will they, won't they? And then when you can't stand it anymore, booyah, it's on. And then there may or may not be a ton of that after that. But I'm more of the slow pace, like in The Italian Assistant. They didn't just jump into bed right off the bat. She teased him for a while. And the tease is the play that builds the anticipation. But you can only build it for so long, and then you got to start delivering.
As long
So,
as the theme is in like the slow build is in chapter one, and then the next chapter is like we're great.
slow but not too slow.
Yeah, because if it's too slow, it's DNF.
Yes,
What would you
exactly.
think?
Like literally, like literally, if we're like on like, I cannot like if it's so slow that it's so drawn out, and I'm like, bro, I would have already jumped this person's bones 10 times, and you're still thinking about it. Goodbye.
So I had created a few pen names, and I'm not sure which way I want to go on this. I feel like if I put a book out under my name and I say, by the way, this is what this is. First of all, the cover, all right. If you get this cover, ain't
That's not,
Steam.
yeah,
You're not
that's not a
thinking Steam
steamy
is
book.
happening in this book. So if the cover looks like what a typical steamy book would have, usually the guy with his shirt open and his six packs and her looking up at him with the flowing hair or whatever it is, I mean, a romance, no, no, no. I'm just saying romance novels have a look to them. Cowboy westerns have a look to them. You're not going to pick up a cowboy western and think, this is probably a very steamy romance, and vice versa. You're not going to, take the guy with his shirt open to his belly button and think, this is the cowboy western I've been waiting for. I mean, there's a certain packaging image, very easy to accomplish. It's just not what the murder mysteries covers look like.
You
So
wait for book two to get Krista? What? No! Holmes. No, 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 no. I gotta
Yeah.
send you a book to read. I'm just playing. I won't do that to you. I won't torture you.
I gotta read and see
No
what I.
pen name, claim it. I yeah.
Discrete covers as
I'll
an
do,
option. Yeah,
I
that's
love
also
this
true. So
cover.
you would have your sexy cover now, and
I
then
like
the
this
title, I
pretty.
don't know, but you could have a discrete cover for it as well. It wouldn't still wouldn't look like the murder mystery, but it would just look. I actually saw a video of that the other day. She goes, "Here's our Simone. You sent it to me." She goes, "Here's our the lady running through the warehouse," and she goes, "This is the discrete book cover," and it was like flowers or something. It was, but I think it still had the same
Yeah.
name, still had the same title,
I
right?
only like the plain color with the names of the characters on it,
Right,
not
that's
the
right.
actual book name.
Yeah, so for example, and this is not the same thing, the Double Blind Murder Mystery series, a lot of people refer to that as the Carly and Sergio books. So maybe if you had a steamy book and the original one's called Double Blind, the discrete one would be Carly and Sergio, or vice versa, however that would work. So you still know. I don't know why people need a discrete cover. Maybe they got to read it on the train and they don't want people to know, or they got
Like I
kids or
don't
something.
want a guy on the book cover just like naked. Like you know what I mean?
Well, I
Especially
was just an example.
like
Besides, the Steam team will help pick all these things out. I'm terrible at book covers, as that earlier conversation would demonstrate. So I would get my cover designers to come forward and say, "This is what these books look like. Here's what's your topic." Well, there's a clock tower. It's like, okay, we'll put the people in front of a clock tower or whatever it would be, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Like Heather said, it's something you can read around the kids with a discrete cover. But see, I always thought, why not just have a dust jacket that you could buy and wrap around it, and it says, the New York Times. And although on the other hand, I can sell two books, so the collectors would have to have both, wouldn't they?
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I'll
we
just no no dust cover. Okay.
do.
All right. So in one of my earlier little Easter egg ventures, I had floated out some names. One of which you might know, Simone. Didn't you read some of my horror stories? There was a female
Yeah.
name that I wrote under in that one that I already identified was me. Her name was Marjorie McConnell. So what if the steamy novel had the authored by Marjorie McConnell, but even like in the the legal stuff where it's like copyright blah blah blah, and then it says in there, by the way, Marjorie McConnell is the pen name of USA Today bestselling author Dan Alatorre, or do you just not disclose it, just leave it as the mystery or whatever?
I would probably leave it as a mystery. I wouldn't, but that's just me. It's just my own personal preference. And the second thing, Marjorie, I don't know if that sounds like someone who knows what she's doing in the bedroom. I don't know. You know? She sounds pretty old.
Does she have to have like a sexy name, like a dancer name?
No,
No,
don't do
it,
that.
it shouldn't be a slutty name either. It's just like a cute girl name, you know? Like, I don't know.
Oh, oh,
Uh,
you paused out on us. We missed whatever you were about to say.
yeah, sorry, I got a notification about my battery being flat again.
Oh,
But
okay.
uh, just a cute girl name. I don't know, like Jessa or um,
What about the name Jessica McClintock? What do you think of that?
I think Jessica is okay. It's okay, but the last name is like a bit too long, I would say.
So should it be something like Jessica Love?
No.
No. No. No. No.
Just something simple. Okay, well, we'll work on it.
That's
Um,
when you're going to a strip club, Dan.
yeah, no,
Kane is good. I
this is
like
why I
the
don't do
surname
these things.
Kane, like Cain. So she can be Jessica Kane. Sounds pretty good to me. But like short, easy names. You don't want to kill yourself when you try and tell the bookstore lady what you want.
Okay, here's the next question. Now, let's suppose Jessica Kane writes a novel, and the main character probably going to be a relatively young woman. Let's say 25. Is that too young, too old? Is that just about right?
I think she has to be at least between 28 and 34
Okay.
somewhere.
So more or less the age of the person who's going to probably read this. The 25-year-olds are not probably picking up the books as much as the 35-year-olds are.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so she goes about her regular day. She meets this guy. They have their big thing. The book ends. Now, the next book in the series, is it, well, we didn't come up with a name for that heroine, but whoever it was in book one, is it her again in book two? Same guy, different guy? First, is it the same character we're following through the series? Or is the series, here's romance A, here's romance B, here's romance C, they're all different people, all different main characters?
Well, what happens in some of the series that I have read is that it is the main character, main female, male, male in the main male in the first book, and then somewhere in there, characters come in that they either know it's friends or cousins or brothers or whatever the case may be. So then the second book would be about them,
Okay.
about
You kind of
either
meet
friends or.
the person who's going to be in book two, you kind of meet in book one. Like say if, well, we never came up with a name for our book one main character. Well, let's suppose that person had a sister or a cousin and we meet them in book one, then book two is about the sister or cousin. All right, that's one way to do it. Are there any, think again, now you're popular, not like grasping for straws. I've seen this one time, but commonly, is it commonly you're going to buy this book and you're going to buy the second book, which is this romance series by this author, and they're different main characters every time? You said, yeah, we met them and now we're going to watch their adventure. So does that mean book one ended happily ever after? The people who met are going to be together forever at the end of that book? Is that kind of how that works?
No, No, not necessarily. You can still give them a shitty ending if you decide to do that.
Well,
Um,
I've kept the lovers apart on more than one occasion, and somebody on this screen said she didn't like it. This is why I'm asking.
no, I didn't like it because what was that? I mean, come on.
That's
But
less than approval. I would
it
say.
there are definitely romance books that I've read that didn't end in a happy ending, and there's no rule that says you have to end it in a happy ending in order to go to book 2 or book 3 or whatever you want to do.
All right, Sammy, what are your thoughts?
Realistic.
Same main character each time, or different main characters each time? Say there's 10 books in the series. Is it the same 35-year-old woman all 10 times, or is it we meet her sister and the sister or the cousin or whatever? That's book 2, and then we meet whoever else we meet, and that's book 3.
I've read books where, like, right now I'm reading, it's called The Six, and each book is a different person, but they're all connected in each, like, they all have a part in each book. They're a friend, like, it's a friend group, each going through their own
So in
drama.
book 3, you'd see the people from book 1 because they're all still friends. Oh, I
Yes,
kind of like
all
that.
going through their drama.
I like that. And people of a certain age are going to be more uh, inclined to find themselves in certain romantic situations, right? Somebody's been married for 50 years, probably not going to have 10 books about that relationship.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, I can get that. All right, so I will give that some serious thought. And what I might do, were this Dan's Steam team come into existence, I would probably come up with an outline of here's chapter 1, this is what's going to happen here, here's how these people meet, chapter 2, 3, this is what, and then kind of like say there's 30 chapters, but I'm only going to tell you about the first 20 so you don't actually know the ending of it. And then if we all agree, okay, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good outline, then I would probably write 1 or 2 chapters and say, okay, here's the first 2 chapters, what are you thinking? And then as I produce a chapter every couple of days, you guys would all understand. We may have to go back when we get to chapter 10, we might have to go back and change something for chapter 1 so it actually fits or creates a surprise or whatever. So you'll kind of be in on some of the surprises and it'll kind of ruin some of that for you. But would that work for you? Would that be like a good rule of thumb, good way to proceed?
My Steam
Yes,
options
yes,
right
yes, absolutely yes.
with
Okay. All right. No, actually, Krista, no Steam options are going to come off the table. This is the research part of the endeavor. So I've actually asked a friend who will remain nameless and may or may not be on the screen to tell me the name of a few Steamy books. I've already bought these books. Well, I ordered them like the black box. They may not ever show up. I bought them. This is research, so it's a business expense. So I'm going to read Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I'm going to read Credence by Penelope Douglas. I'm going to read Double Reverse by Bridget Hale. And
that is so taboo.
I'm going to read Hidden Alpha by Jesse Beckett. Now, this person went on to say,
Whoa, whoa.
where these lines kind of may have run together. So the comment goes, such and such book to me was perfect, absolute perfection. Now this is a new sentence. Credence is extremely morally gray, so caution the wind with that one, but good grief. So in point of fact, I don't know which book this person was saying was perfect, absolute perfection. It may have been Hidden Alpha, or it may have been Credence, or it may have been one of the others. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to ask maybe for a DM clarification rather than embarrass that person here on screen. Although it seems as though the color of her cheeks is starting to match the color of her shirt. So
This one,
It's
so taboo, and I
amazing.
love it.
It's
Listen, the
so
spice in
good.
this book.
So what I'm looking for, if you can think of anybody who's watching, listening, if you want to DM me give me a couple at the top of your head that are absolute classic, great examples. I'll read them and say, okay, this is what the expectations are in this genre. Stuff that really knocked your socks off. Give me one of those. Give me 2 or 3. I don't care. I'm going to do a little research on this. I'm going to do some reading, and I'm going to be looking at a couple of things. The first time I sat down to write a murder mystery, I watched 3 or 4 murder mystery movies, and I read a couple of murder mystery books, and I said, okay, I kind of get the way this particular story is supposed to unfold. And then I wrote it, and that story is Double Blind, and it's a pretty good story. First time I wrote a psychological thriller, Tiffany Lynn is Missing. The idea came to me, it grabbed me, I couldn't let it go. I said, I got to write this book. 6, 8 weeks later, the book was done, and it's an awesome book. I don't mind saying it. You know, a bunch of people have read it and reviewed it, and they agree.
That's one of my favorite books.
So I happen to believe, should I decide to pursue this, that not only will I write an absolutely amazing, steamy, erotic, passionate love story, but I will create characters you want to spend time with, and I will write it in such a way where it stays with you and you carry it in your heart forever, as a good romance should.
So you want true erotica or just like taboo?
Whatever you want to suggest.
Because
I
I
told
got
you, I read Dark Notes.
taboo-ish.
I read Dark Notes with the idea of I want to learn what this is all about, and I read Pam Godwin, you know, again, critique partner, and trust me, I didn't have a lot of critiques for her. It was a very well written book when I read it, but I mean, you know, but I considered that erotica, and now today, a few years later, you might say, well, it's steamy. I don't know if I would call it erotica, right? There's erotic stuff happening in it, but it's kind of potato. It's kind of like if, as my friend keeps suggesting, if I were to pursue this, there's a huge market out there that's begging for it. They're just not quite, but on Book Talk, they are pretty blatant about it. I'm like, well, then what the hell? Why not give it a shot? So
Exactly.
I got some spice. I got some spice for you.
So let's just say, as an example, and we're going to backtrack a bit here. On a scale of 1 to 10, when Aaron and Jet are trapped on the mountainside in the blizzard in the cabin,
Yeah.
that chapter, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're not going to offend me. 10 is super spicy, steamy
Listen, I
blood.
wanted it spicier.
1 is ice cold. Not asking that. On a scale of 1 to 10, where does that one fall? Is that like a 5 because it didn't go too far? It didn't really get into the steamy. It was kind of a build up to steam, but I don't want to quantify it for you. So you tell me. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is red hot steam. Down here is kind of cold, lackluster, you know, about as steamy as a coaster. Where would you say that steam places on the steam scale?
We needed more. We wanted more.
Yes.
Well, but it's not more.
Exactly.
So where does it fall?
For me,
That specific scene.
You're not going to offend me.
probably
3.
like a 2, 3. Like I want more.
What
Like,
do you think? Renee?
I need more.
What do you think, Samay?
Yeah, I would have given that specific scene a 3, simply because you know what they were doing, but there were no telling you what they were doing. There were no details of what they were doing. There were no things being said while they were doing said things, and we need that. You know,
Okay, now-
it's just
So
what we
here's where the
need.
DM part comes in. I can't help but notice our audience has increased 50% since we started this topic. So that's an indicator. And I'm going to see my minutes of watched is going to suddenly skyrocket as well. So here's what I want. On books that did deliver that for you, did go where you wanted to go, like this person said, perfection, tell me those titles. You can drop me a DM. I'll buy some of those books. And if everybody says the same books, then obviously I've got fewer to buy and read. But I'll spend over the next couple of weeks, I'll read some of these things. We'll come up with some ideas and we'll go. So if you got some ideas, all of you watching, drop me a DM. Even if we're not friends, if you stumbled onto this thing and you want to drop, obviously I'm going to take the comments a little more seriously from people I know. You know, my camera is making me all red, like I've been out in the sun all day. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Listen, but I do just want to say that if you
sorry.
have read, after you've read Credence, we have to have a live to get live opinions about it.
From who? From me?
Yes, we want updates.
Okay, as I'm reading it, or just when I'm done.
Whenever. How fast do you read?
We can do it like every night. I mean, it's probably not going to take you. I
many
read
pages is it?
Credence. I read it in
never
like
done.
less than 24 hours.
Sammy, how many pages is it?
It's only 470, so I read it in like a day.
Pretty big. All right,
Yeah.
that might take me more than a day.
It won't.
It's good.
You are not going to do anything. There will be no eating. There will be no sleeping. There will be no working out. There will be no nothing.
You will be walking and reading.
We'll see. Okay, well, there's the challenge. What do we think about some of these other ones? Say You Swear. Have either of you heard of that one?
I've heard of it, but didn't read it.
Okay.
I loved it. Loved
Okay.
it.
Double Reverse. Any thoughts on that by Bridget Hale? No, Sammy? Simone, any thoughts on that one?
Yes, it was extremely morally grey. Again, it's about a woman and her 5 other people.
Ah, okay. That was Double Reverse. Hidden Alpha. By the way, the cover on that one looked like the guy just emerged out of the friggin' knight in shining armor war type stuff, or like he's a demon or something. Hidden Alpha by Jesse Beckett. Have either of you read that one?
Hidden Alpha is a shifter romance. It was really, really good. Very spicy, but what I loved about it was the guy had like, he was so fiercely protective over the girl. He had the mentality of you don't look at her and I'm going to kill you, or you touch her and I'm going to kill you. And it was just all about the girl. And she was a fuller figured character, which I loved, because there's very few books that actually give you, the real women perspective of everything that isn't always perfect. So I loved that. And he was crazy about her. Like, he literally could not breathe without this woman. So, and it was very sexy, very sexy. Loved it.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna put those on my list. I've got those on my list, I should say. I bought those, so that's my little homework assignment. And they show up over here whenever they show up. I think they're showing up. I think they're all coming in the next week or so. So I'll keep you posted on that and what I think of them and the writing and all that. But my plan would be to write the best writing I can do, right? And then to have this plot be the format in which that writing occurs, and look at what that audience is looking for in a book. Let's say, for example, with the shifters, I'm not familiar with that kind of stuff, and there's rules to those genres that I'm not familiar with, so I would probably not deliver the best one of those. But as far as just a regular old romance with normal people that don't shift, I can probably do that.
Yeah, I have to say, the Hidden Alpha series it's a duology so far. The second one is actually being released tomorrow. But it's the first of that genre that I've read. And I never envisioned myself being a shifter romance girl, but it was really so good. Like, honestly, it wasn't even as much about the shifting and the wolves as it was about all the romance and their protective natures and all of that, which was why I was there.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's like I said, that Touch Her and You Die.
Oh, I love a touch her and die moment in a book. Listen.
Yeah, so I didn't know what that was. And somebody was showing me something else, and the sticker said Touch Her and Die thing. And I was like, what is that? And they go, oh, that's a subgenre. And I was like, huh. Well, then somebody else came in and said, have you guys heard of this? Somebody else comes in and says, drops me a DM and is like, yeah, and I think, Simone, I think I was telling you this earlier. You have a strong kick-ass female who doesn't need this guy, but this guy comes in and he's like, now they're a pair bond, and he's like you said, protective and all that kind of thing. Would you say it's jealousy as well, or is it just protective and that kind of thing?
He definitely needs to be jealous. I mean, not like to the point where he is a psychopath, but a little bit of jealousy never hurts anyone.
No.
Okay, well, I have to give that some thought, because I'm typically like jealousy. I would perceive as a weakness in a character, but
No.
I'm going to be open to all these. So And then yes, it was Feisty Krista. So she was who I was asking about. And then she explained the female main characters like this other characters like this. And then it gets very steamy type deal because of that touch her and die type of thing, which that's one of those where it's like, let me read a book that's written that way. Then I don't have to take somebody else's explanation of it. I'll just read it and I'll either get it or not get it. It'll click or it won't. And if I think it's something I would enjoy, then yeah, no problem. If it's something I think, like if there was a book about torturing children, I'm like, I don't care how well it's written, I'm not doing that. So if the touch her and die just doesn't click with me, if I'm not vibing with it, then we'll find something else to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are so many tropes that you are bound to find at least 5 that you cannot live without.
Yeah.
So Lady Wolverine says it's more of a possession. She's mine. Nobody's going to harm her, right? That's different from jealousy. That's protective. That's not jealousy. So again, there's subtle distinctions here. We can send you a list of red flags that are great in the book, but not in person. Oh, no. Okay, fair enough. I get that. Yeah, I think there's plenty of videos going around right now on Book Talk where it's like, why is it we like all these red flags in these book boyfriends, but would not ever want any of them? Well, the answer is because it's safe in the book. The guy gets out of control, we shut it and set it away, and it all stopped. In real life, that ain't how it works. So
Yeah.
that's I can understand that. It's just kind of like I have murderers running around. They're not something I want to deal with in real life. Happy to have them in a book because I know what's going to happen to them.
This book here is an age gap mafia arranged marriage. Is this one arranged marriage? No, this one's not arranged marriage. The other one is. But the age gap is done so well.
What's the age gap?
12 years. But listen, they are older.
How old is she? How old is he?
He's in his, I think, 40s, but she is older. So it's not like she's like 17, 18. When they're that young, I'm like, no. Okay. I want the person to be also older. I won't read those kinds. And also, accidental pregnancy is also a red. Like, hello, you've been humping each other like rabbits. No wonder y'all been. We see the accidental. Don't write an accidental pregnancy trope up in there.
No.
So
No.
I saw somebody not that long ago. Actually, I mentioned when I get a new follower, I try to interact with them. What kind of books do you like? And this person went on to say, well, I kind of like these things, and here's things I don't like. And they threw out, and I've seen it before, accidental pregnancy. Oh, there's Feisty Krista. No, for her personally. So this is not Krista who said this next comment, okay? And this person said, accidental pregnancy is a big no for me. But she had like 5 or 6 that she was saying. And I was like, without that one jumped out at me, all right? Accidental pregnancy. Maybe there's a different meaning to that than what I think it would be. But I think Sammy kind of nailed it. It's like, well, you guys are hopping into bed every 5 minutes. No kidding, there might be a pregnancy at some point. That, by the way, has happened in some of my books. So I never called it an accidental pregnancy. I just said, you know what? Things happen sometimes. So this person said, accidental pregnancy is, she said, was something along the lines of, that character is stupid if that happened. And I'm like, well, we have different ideas of how biology works. I think it's not necessarily stupidity. It can be the passion overwhelmed the common sense. Like we're all, if we're at our job at the bank, we're keeping it all together. But behind closed doors, things might get a little less restrictive, and occasionally things happen. So I viewed it that way, as like interesting that people are thinking it and putting that word, calling it there. That's a character who did something stupid or is stupid because they let that happen, or however she phrased it. And I was like, I don't know about that. But then I saw Kristen made a thing. She's like, that's a trope she doesn't like. And I don't know if that's a certain kind of book where you go into it saying, okay, here comes the accidental pregnancy, or if it's just one of those, oh yeah, now we have the accidental pregnancy and she's going to fall off a horse and lose the baby. I don't know if it was one of those things. I don't really know that trope very well.
I don't know. I don't know. It kind of like, hello, y'all. Y'all been a little busy.
Well, like I said, I have a beloved character in one of my own books that's dealing with that. So I was like, oh, I got her pregnant. And well, I didn't get her pregnant. The character is now pregnant. And readers don't like that? Whoops. Well, she is. So we're just going to have to roll with it. All right. Well, listen, I've had Simone on here for a while. I think we started around 3. Sammy, thank you so much for hanging out the whole time.
Having me.
We can go a little while longer. I was going to try to look at the comments here and see what people have been talking about. If anybody wants to ask a question before we wrap things up, feel free. And ladies, if you need to go, by all means, let's see what kind of stuff people have been saying in the comments. I try to read the comments and I get caught up in what we're talking about and I don't.
While you read the comments, I am going to hop off so that I can charge this phone. It's on 5% and it's going to die any second.
Hey,
You know
Sam,
how it
will you send me
goes.
that book, the Shifter book?
Oh, I bought them all. I
Yes.
bought those 4. Which one's the Shifter? Hidden Alpha? I bought it.
No,
Yeah, it's the
I'm gonna download
Stonebrook
it.
Shifter series, but I'll message it to you.
Yeah, and everybody else who's watching, if you want to DM me, I'm not going to buy 50 books. I'll have it figured out by after about 3 or 4, maybe after 1 or 2. If Credence is the be all end all, maybe I have it figured out after 1.
Cadence is so taboo, but it's so like I feel like it's a great book to get you into like to see like what everybody's talking about.
Well, think about this. When you say taboo, and again, I don't know what the taboos are in that book. We certainly had some taboos brought up with the Jet Thacker book, Tiffany Lynn is Missing. There was a whole backstory there, and it's like, huh, is Aaron this good guy, or is Aaron this maybe
Yeah.
he was doing things he was forcing himself into familial situations, or was it the way Ashley said it went down, or was it the way Aaron said it went down? So, that was toying around the edge of a taboo situation, but it was like, Aaron being a good guy, he didn't want to be doing these things, and when he got the chance to get out, he got out, and he's an upstanding citizen ever since. Although he does occasionally break the law, and maybe going to prison.
Well, see, the thing is they told me, oh, it's just a dark romance. Don't worry about it. And then when I read it, I was like, this isn't a dark romance. It's straight up taboo. Like, come on, guys, let's get this right.
Which one is that? That's Credence, is that
That's
one?
Credence, yeah.
All right.
But
Well,
except for, aside from it being whatever, the anticipation in that book is
So
incredible.
high. It's
that's good. See, I'm
Incredible.
big on that. I like to sit here. It's suspense basically, and that's what mystery thrillers are. They're suspense. So in my mind, that's what a good romance is as well. It's like, come on, overcome the obstacle so you can be together, kind of thing. And
Exactly. And
it's
when
the
when
overcoming
it
of the obstacle.
eventually happens, it is just like you are so freaking excited and worked up that you're about to have a stroke or something. And if these people don't figure their shit out now, you are throwing this book out the window. So it was so good. I enjoyed it so much. And I know everyone has their own opinions about this book, but I know secretly behind closed door, they're going to read it again.
Well, I think that Credence is what we're talking about here, right? I think that
Yeah.
one had something like 40,000 positive reviews. So you got to say Penelope Douglas got something right.
No, she did a good job on that one.
Now, when I read it, I have no idea what the book's about. Don't tell me. I just read it, I'll read it. When I'm done with it, I'll have my takeaway. We can talk. And when I lay out, after doing some research, when I lay out how my book would be if I were to write one, there will be certain, again, I hate to say rules, but there's like certain expectations these readers are going to want to have that the
Yeah.
book's got to deliver. Otherwise, it falls short and gets bad reviews, which I'm not interested in that either. So we'll have those conversations, but I think these are 4 good books to start with, and there will probably be a couple other. Like I said, I read Dark Notes, I liked it, but part of what I liked was certainly there was great erotica, but certainly there was a great plot and a
Yeah.
lot of suspense and some things like that. So that would be what I would want to have in my book as well.
Okay, well, you're going to love it. I know you're going to love it. And I'm going to go now so that my phone can charge
All
and
right.
so on.
Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Sammy, again, thanks for joining us. And a big shout out, thank you to Becca, who is usually over there serving as part of my mod squad, stomping on mushrooms before they get too unruly. So we really appreciate that as well.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. All right, everybody, we're going to end it there, and I'm going to go see about what my daughter wants for dinner. Hasta la vista. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.